So, what's going on, everyone? And welcome to the very first episode of Yusuf Meets with my first guest, Mr. Yannick Bolasie. How's it going, Yannick?
Yeah, good, thanks. Good, thanks, man. And yourself?
Yeah, not bad, not bad. Really looking forward to this interview. You're the first person in this series, so hopefully it'll be a lot of banter, a lot of laugh.
Ah, nice.
So, obviously, third time lucky. 2018, you could have joined us, but you went to Villa instead.
Mm,
Then 2020, summer 2020,
yeah.
stuff it happened deadline day, and then finally January 2021 you finally joined. So explain each moment. What happened? So let's begin with the first one when you went to
Oh
Villa.
no. So obviously the first time was I came down in it like it was sick, you know what I mean? I came down with the family and stuff, and then obviously I ended up going back to Aston Villa, but reason why I kind of went Aston Villa is because the relations of the players, you know what I mean? I knew like Tammy, I knew like
Mm,
Jack, I knew like Albert Adoma, and obviously former captain of Crystal Palace, Mila Jednak was there as well. So, like for me, that was like just a big swaying thing. It wasn't necessarily about what the clubs can do. It was just like the relationships that I had at the time, you know what I mean? Where I was coming back from injury as well, I was like, I'd like to be around people that know me properly, you know what I mean? So
mm.
I'm trying to get back to my best, and they've seen me at my best, so they give me some true reflections, and that's what it is about, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because you even came to Rockcliffe at the time. I remember, and you're talking to
Yeah,
Pulis, who managed you at Palace,
Palace
and
as well, yeah.
obviously you knew Brit as well, but it's just more people that you knew
No,
at
100%. It's
Villa.
just more the relations, that I knew. Like I knew Tammy, I knew the Jacks, and
Mm,
then Mille and Albert Adoma, and I played against Hutton and that. So, they kind of
mm,
know what I'm about. So for me, it was about like just trying to get myself back to the level that I thought I should be at the time, Obviously, it was difficult with the injury and stuff, but
mm.
and I had people, straight talkers around that would give me like true reflections of where I'm at and how far, you know what I mean? They wouldn't like talk crap to me or whatever. Looking good and
Exactly.
stuff. I don't
Yeah.
need, I didn't need that at the minute, you know what I mean? So that's probably the main reason.
Yeah, and then again, you nearly joined us in the it was October 2020, the end of the
Yeah.
transfer window. Obviously, Warnock said you had some kind of fault to blame. Would you agree with some of his comments?
To be, as far as I was concerned, obviously for me, it was done like a week before.
Mm,
And then it just got dragged out to the last minute, and then some stipulations came out, and yeah, it wasn't. It made it almost not right for me
mm,
to go at the time, But that's part of football, isn't it? Like it takes two to tango and stuff. So yeah, with that, like it wasn't for me. Like it was disappointing because obviously, I rang up the guy for myself, saying like,
mm.
I'm coming down. I'm gonna come down. You know what I mean? And then from then it was just like moving quick because it was just between us two kind of thing. So everything started moving quick, but then somehow got delayed to the last day of the window, and it was just like, nah, it's not favored for me at the minute. You know what I mean?
Mm. And then finally, January 2021, you finally got the Borough shirt. I mean, how did that come about, and how did you feel to finally join?
No, obviously for me, I'm grateful. Like the gaffer and that, because obviously I probably left him about. I probably didn't speak to him for about 25 days or so, you know what I mean? Like before, up until, like you said, the last time I probably talked to him was around Boxing Day or whatever, but no, for me personally, it was just a case where I needed to just sit down and think and see what I need to do. But like with me straight away, like it just kept coming at me. It was like, nah, I need to prove myself. I need to show that I'm still the player that I am. Who
Mm,
who can I do that best under? And there's only one name screaming, the gaffer, because the gaffer knew me from Palace days. He's the one that started playing me in different roles, and then I started adapting, and I got my confidence from there, and kicked on in the Premier League. So for me, it was it almost became like a no-brainer. It was just there, like you try and go left, and nah,
mm,
it's just there, and obviously where I'd come to the training ground and stuff, and like I said, now as well, I knew a couple of players, yeah, obviously the
mm,
Brits. I didn't know Cabano and Mendes Lang were going, but I know them
mm,
mutually as well, and obviously I know Truba as well. So, just in general, I was just like, nah, I think it's the definitely the right place, and I had the options to go in France and stuff, but for me, I wanted to prove myself in England because I hadn't played in England for a while, and playing under a gaffer that knows me well, was like, yeah, it's just a match kind of thing. So I'm looking to show that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, and social media obviously went crazy. Everyone had like the Congo flags when Cabano joined. I mean, even the Boro official Twitter had the Congo flag on it. So, I mean, how did that make you feel?
No, that was crazy, to be fair. You know what I mean? Like, it just makes everyone feel welcome. You know what I mean? Like for us as well, that's a buzz. Like, go around and saying, yeah, look, like the Borough website, like, and the Borough Twitter had the Congo flag. Like, that was sick. It started off a little trend. That was cold. Like,
everyone had it. Yeah,
like, yeah, the admin and that done sick on that still.
Yeah, definitely. So obviously football's changed a lot with COVID and everything. What would you say has been like the biggest sort of changes? Talk about a general day to day in terms of training. Like, how different is it getting into training and whatnot?
Obviously we have to do tests and stuff before we go in, and so it's sometimes a bit long because you want to get inside and you want to start preparing yourself for training, but you have to wait to see when you get given the all clear, then you can go in. Little things for me, obviously I've only experienced now not playing without the fans, because as you said, the last time I would have played a proper game would have been February, you know what I mean? February 2020, that's when I would have played my last competitive game. So up until then I've just been kind of keep it ticking over and training and just doing what I can to try and stay at the highest level possible. So for me, personally, I can only talk on what I've experienced. I had more time with the family and stuff, and but for the boys and stuff, I guess up here as well, there's a little good changing room here, so everyone wants to find, but you can't really do that because you're still having to social distance as well. So you can't just do what you want at the minute. But I'm guessing hopefully soon it will get back to normal, man.
And you spoke about obviously no fans being there. Obviously, you're a player who loves fans. You love entertaining fans. How different has that been for you? Because obviously, every club you've been at, the clubs always sing for you. The Yannick Bolasie runs down the wing song and stuff. How has it been, like, not having any fans to kind of G you on?
This for me personally, obviously I love the fans and stuff, and I loved when they're in the stadium and stuff. It does give you extra 5%. But for me at this personal moment, it's like, we haven't played in a while. I'm not even thinking that too tough. I'm just thinking, let me go out there, perform to the best of my abilities, and obviously try to get up in the playoffs and hopefully up into the Premier League, because that's the aim, and I think we've got a good team for that,
Definitely. Obviously, you've played for some big clubs: Palace, Everton, Villa. Played with some absolute ballers. But I was going to talk to you about one of your teammates that you've been on loan with. So when you're on loan at a club, and he's turned out to be one of the best midfielders in the Premier League. You probably know who I'm talking about. Did you know Bruno Fernandes was going to establish himself in the Premier League? Because obviously some people come from abroad and they struggle because of the physicality. But he was literally made, I think, captain for one game a month or two later. And he just hit the ground running, and not just for a mid-table team, but for Manchester United. Yeah. Did you see when you were at Sporting Lisbon that Bruno can hack it in the Premier League?
You know what? Where it is, I saw that Bruno had the ability, and one thing I did realize is his thought process is a lot quicker than a lot of people. You know what I mean? And in this day and age, he's the perfect age, to come in and dominate that kind of field. And as you've seen, he thinks quicker than a lot of people, sees pictures a lot quicker than other people would. So for me, I'm not surprised. I did say the Premier League was getting a baller when he's coming, because I knew what he was going to come and do. And I knew he's a serial for numbers, goal involvements, assists, goals. You know, he lives off that. You know what I mean? That's what he was doing in Portugal day in, day out. So, you know, I'm not really surprised, if I'm honest. I'm not really surprised. Yeah, okay, the physicality, but I knew he's a runner as well. So as long as you can run, I don't think the physicality matters too much.
Exactly.
If you've got balls and you're in the right team, you got runners in behind for you, like Bruno does, you know, with the Rashford, the Daniel James, and that running behind, you know, Martial, Greenwood. Then for him, the game gets made easier as well, and he would find his own space as well, you know. And obviously, you know, he's shown that.
Definitely. So obviously social media is a massive part of football, and you're an active user of social media. You reply a lot to people's on Twitter, Instagram. You're posting videos and stuff like that, even giving behind the scenes footage of when you joined Boro, and you've recently also joined Snapchat as well. I mean, what would you say has been like the pros and cons of being on social media?
Obviously, you know, you open yourself up. You know, you're almost there out in the open. So if it's not going well, then, you know, people kind of let you know. But, you know, it's each and every one to their character. You know, my character is, you know, I try to have fun regardless. You know, and but when it comes to the pitch, I do take my football serious. You know, I try to do what I have to do properly, and but off it, really, the social medias and that stuff, it's good when it's going great, but you also have to know, like, it's not always gonna be great. You know what I mean? Like, there's ups and downs, and you have to expect that for a footballer like myself or whatever. Yeah, you're going up, but, you know, there's always downward spirals that you're gonna experience. But, you know, I'm humbled to know that, you know, there's gonna be down times. You know, because for me, I came up through the leagues anyways. You know, I didn't have everything given to me, and I had to work hard and be where I'm at today. You know, like, I had to work hard. So, and there was plenty of downs and ups. You know, and, you know, all of a sudden, a lot of people know you. It doesn't change the person that I am. So each and everyone deals with it different, I guess. You know, but for myself personally, I know there's going to be negative regardless. You know, I mean, to do stuff on the field, I probably used to lose the ball a lot more than a lot of the players. You know, if I really paid attention to that, then people would say that the socials, and I'd be scared to do what I do in the game. And, you know, I've played football to enjoy it from the first day I started playing. You know, especially playing in England. You know, which would have been, I don't know, 2010, 11. You know, just playing in England. You know, I don't think I've changed from there. You know, I look back at my video and says, I'm still doing what I have to do, and I'm enjoying it. But obviously, we know, you know, on the Saturday and stuff, you want 3 points, and that's become the focal point now.
Yeah, as you said, there's obviously you know, abuse, stuff that happens on social media. How do you deal then, like, with abuse and stuff? Like, as a person, like, do you read, like, the abuse, or, like, does it affect you? How does it make you feel?
Unless it's really, you know, directed at me, you do feel down and stuff, but I try not to get caught up with the emotion. You know, I try to neutralize everything. You know, once I keep everything neutral, you know, I bypassed it. Because, you know, if I'm emotional, then, you know, when it's going good, when it's going bad, I'm down. When it's going medium, like this. But if I keep it neutral, whether it's good, I'm still on the same level. If it's bad, I'm still on the level. If I'm in the middle, I'm still in the middle. So that's what I do. I just keep it neutral with the abuse and stuff. Where, I don't know, to other people, other 100% are emotional. So with the highs, and you learn this when you get older, by the way. It's not just, I didn't just know this from, you know, when I was 22, 23 years old. You know, I was high and low and stuff. I used to follow the emotions. But the older I got, I just thought, if I keep things neutral, you know, it helps in everything I do. So whether that's in the team, not in the team, I stay neutral, I'll still be consistent with what I do on the training field. So then when I do get a shot, I'm ready. You know, and there's no letting up, where if I'm emotional, in the abuse, I get caught up in it, then I'm feeling down. Now I'm not able to do what I need to do properly because my emotions getting in the way. So I try to minimize the emotion in everything and just try to say, listen, this is social media. I can't control it. Everyone's got free, everyone's free to talk and say what they want. I can't control that, but I can control what I do. And that's my mindset for everything. You know, I try to control my own mindset and dominate myself rather than try to stop people saying stuff. Yeah, okay, if I think it's bang out order, I might reply back and say, yeah, there's no need for that or whatever. But a lot of the times, like I said, I keep it neutral, you know, and, you know, it is what it is, you know. You've got your computer, you can type what you want, but I'm not going to look at it like that. I'm just going to bypass and keep it neutral. That's what I mean. So, yeah, that's the way I would say, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because obviously everyone's got social media nowadays, and
yeah,
we've also seen like a lot of young people like tragically like suicide and stuff, like young footballers and stuff. What support networks do you think could be given? Because obviously social network obviously has a part to play in it maybe, and also coming through like the academies and maybe being released at a young age. And like, what support network do you think these young people? Because not everyone's going to make it as a footballer.
No, 100%. It's a tough one, and I've always said it to a lot of the young ones. You know, that I try to bump. If I do bump into them, you know, listen, you know, not everyone makes it. You know, so if you're here every day, you need to make sure you try and put in as much work as you can, and then listen. If it doesn't happen for you, at least you can go away from that journey saying, I've put my hands up. I've done everything in my power to try and get, whether it's a professional contract or to try and get in a first team and play football, to try and get even a sniff, and it's not happened. But it's not happened for me not putting in the effort or not being good enough. I just can't control what else is going on, and you know, that's my theory on the things, you know. And I guess for the academy players, it's tough, but for me, I can relate and I can't relate because as you would know, you know, I was in a pro till 20 years old. I didn't turn professional till 20 years old. So I lived like a life of a normal teenager, like that was 15, 16, 17. I got to see that, you know what I mean? So I've seen a bit of both sides where I guess when you're in the academy and stuff, you're in from the age of 12 to 13, and then you get told at 16, yeah, you can't, yeah, well, we're not offering you anything. Yeah, it is a bitter pill to swallow, you know, because it's all you know, innit? You know what I mean? You're going through school and everything's just related to football. It's correlated around football. Football is like the big picture, and you got the little spider diagram that you draw. Okay, I do my schoolwork there, but it doesn't really matter. It's the football that matters. So I guess for them, it's gonna be really tough. You know what I mean? I don't think there is enough social networks or, you know, places where these type of players could find their advice and help and get through that transition, because it's happening every day, you know what I mean? But there's not been no change, you know. It's only like when we hear someone's killed themselves, you know, we start taking a little bit of notice. But even then, I don't think, you know, there's been a lot of attention on it, you know what I mean?
No, definitely, I definitely agree. And obviously, spoke about you coming from a different background from like non-league and Sunday league and whatnot. Yeah. What would you say is the advantages and disadvantages of coming through that way, as opposed to coming through the academy, which a lot of players are coming through nowadays?
I think certain little things, you know, tactics, you know, learning that kind of thing, basic little things. You know, when you're doing it, you get told what you're doing. You know, like for example, if I was to receive the ball on the back foot, I do that naturally. But where I've come up from the street, I wouldn't know I'm receiving it on my back foot because I ain't been coached. Yeah, I mean, little things like that, or half turn and stuff. Yeah, I do these things naturally, but I wouldn't know that I'm doing it naturally. Do you know what I mean? So if you was to say it, like, what's that kind of thing? I think those are the advantages, you know, that the being in the academy has. But then it also has its pitfalls, you know, if you don't make it through. So for me, like, I wouldn't take back anything that I've gone through, and you know, if I was to do it again, I'd do it the same way, because you know, I feel like it's made me the player that I am today. You know, I mean, unpredictable, and I'm still unpredictable now. So, you know, and I love that. You know what I mean? When the people say unpredictable, I love it. Why? Why are you saying I'm unpredictable? Why? Because you don't know where I'm going. Well, when you're in a cage and you're playing with 40 people in choke kill and stuff, trying to play World Cup, trying to get through, you're not going to have time to think and process where you want to go left or right, because you just get tackled. You know what I mean? So everything's off instinct, bam, 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 boom. And obviously with my injury and stuff, that's one of the main things that I lost. It was just that instinct to go bam, you know, out of nowhere. You know, someone's in the way or whatever. I just on the second decide what I'm going to do. And that's the way, that's what I've been doing all through them years that the lads were in academy, from like 12 till, I don't know, 16, 17, 18. That's what I was doing, you know, playing in the park with my friends, then going on the pitch and saying, oh, actually that works. You know, that was my way of, you know, doing it, you know, and I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful.
So obviously academies, do you think they teach like teams like to not be brave, not take risks, to like avoid defeat, as opposed to like having that like...
I just think at the minute, it's, for me, I don't feel like, yeah, we've got some good players that have come through academies. I'm not saying that. We've made some, you know, but I just feel like, you know, where I've gone to the other countries and I've seen a lot of it's result-based in England. So it's like, oh, the academy need to win. Oh, we got the best academy in England, because they're going around beating other teams. Where I think like in Holland or in Portugal and Belgium, where, you know, I put my son in, you know, just to see. And I said, nah, it's total different process. You know, everything's more about the development of the player. Yeah, the players are developing here, but then I think when you get to a certain age, it just becomes about the 3 points on the Saturday, and then being the best academy in England or whatever. Where in Belgium, it's more like player development. They're looking at it differently, you know, differently. I think England now is changing, because you're starting to see more players getting produced. But is that because, you know, there's a Brexit and, you know, you can't really go outside and get the young talent anymore? I don't know, you know what I mean? There's these things that I'm thinking, but that's just my own personal view, you know what I mean? Like, but I feel like in England it's more results based rather than, you know, development of the player. You know, from what I've seen, you know, what I've experienced as well, because I've gone to Belgium, I've seen what they're like with the youngsters, totally different. You know what I mean? England, you might be getting it a bit, everything on the plate a bit too soon. I don't know. Where Belgium, you have to kind of wait. Portugal, you have to kind of wait. You know, and you know, it also helps them with the discipline. You know, and keeps everyone's feet grounded, I guess.
No, definitely, and we're obviously starting to see, like you said, some players coming through. People like Phil Foden, Jack Grealish. Do you think it's starting to change a little bit? Because we're starting to have a few more technical, because in the past it was like pace. You had like your Aaron Lennons, your Sean Wright-Phillips, your Theo Walcotts, they're all pace. But now it's starting to be a little bit more technical.
I think that generation there would have been more results-based, you know what I mean? Where I feel like if they would have had like, obviously they were good enough to play first team at young ages, so you can't fault them for that. But if they would have more like development in like technical skills, then, you know, they would I think they would have, it would have been better for them 100%. But now you can see, you know, just like the Jadon Sancho's, the Phil Foden, obviously Jack's obviously sick, you know, I know from also Jackson, how's Jack now? 24, 25?
24, 25, I think. Yeah, he's starting to, yeah.
So we're talking about the Phil Fodens, the Nathan Greenwoods,
the Sackers and people like that, yeah.
You can see it's sort of changed, you know what I mean? But I feel like now it's more like with them, they're all technically great, and it's just about the numbers, you know what I mean? For them, nothing else matters apart from the numbers, you know? And it's good, it is a good, because that's where the game's going. You have to move with the times, I guess, you know?
Okay, yeah, definitely. So we've got a few questions from fans, because obviously we put it on Twitter and Facebook. So the first question's from Adam Martin, and he asks, which manager has given you the best advice and helped you the most in your career? And what's the best bit of advice you were given?
Now that's a hard one, isn't it? Say that question again. Best advice be given
so
from
the first part was, which manager has given you the best advice and helped you the most in your career?
I couldn't put it down to one. I think like with me, like it's like a puzzle. You know, so let's say the gaffer came in at Palace, yeah, and he almost gave me confidence, freedom to do what I want on the pitch, which obviously it's like having the keys to the castle, yeah. Then Tony Pulis came in, and then he added like the defensive side. So yeah, I was free, but I also had defensive responsibility, and that enabled me to probably stay in the team, not being a luxury player. So I was able to work up and down and stay in the team, you know, because of the threat that I carried going forward. So he helped me with that. Then Padre comes in, and he's almost like, well, you know, you can be free and you can do that, but we need you to be more in the final third and, you know, score goals. Like he kind of turned the thing and said, well, we kind of want numbers. So my mentality is changing. You know what I mean? So I'm going through loads of transitions there. You know what I mean? So if it's going to be managers, I would say it was them. You know what I mean?
Definitely. And then the other part of the question was the best bit of advice. Yeah. And then the second part was, what's the best bit of advice you were given?
From anyone.
Yeah.
Trying to think of senior players. From I would say when I met Henri, like, and he just said, nah, just like I said, he's the one that said to try to keep it neutral as you can, you know what I mean? And from then it was like, okay, if I keep it neutral, I can get more consistency and do what I do on the pitch, rather than, I had a good game today and I'm up in the cloud, yeah, and the next game is down and then I'm down and then I can't even get to the middle ground, you know? So yeah, I would say that, Henri.
Okay. So the next question's from Charlie Rabbi. He says, out of all the players you've played with, who would make your ultimate five-a-side team?
It'd be very attacking. Wow. It'd be very attacking. So, nah, it's a tough one, man. I've played with some ballers, man.
Yeah.
Obviously, Wilf is my Cody. Like,
yeah,
me and his like connection was sick. But then when I went Villa, me and Jack's connection was sick. Rom, me and his connection was sick at
everything. Yeah.
Bruno, like if I look at all my sporting clips, he's the only one setting up.
Yeah.
So it's like, oh my days, like it'd be too attacking, you know what I mean?
That's 4 players. All right, pick a goalkeeper. Who's the best goalkeeper you played with?
The best goalkeeper.
Bettinelli.
There's the other better. I've only played better with 2 games.
No. I'm playing. Yeah.
Jules Speroni, obviously, I played with him the longest. Yeah, he was the best like and stuff. You know, I would say Jules.
Okay.
Yeah,
that's a very attacking team.
I mean,
so yeah. Well, it just goes to show you played some top players. I mean, you even mentioned Tammy Abraham or Ezri Konza and people like that.
That's what I mean. Like, from my Ross Barkley, like, see, now when you start, all of these players are coming to my mind. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Some big players. So another question is from Poppy. She says, "What's your personal favorite career moment so far?"
No, I have to say, when I got promoted to the Prem, yeah, I've been to the FA Cup final, and it was, well, obviously we lost and stuff. Done some bits for Congo as well, you know, finishing African Nations Cup. But I'm saying the Premier League. You know, I don't think, because the way I achieved it, you know, obviously when I was 16, I said to myself, I want to be in the Premier League by the age of 24. And when I was 22, I wasn't thinking about Premier League, but if you said, yeah, by 24, you're going to Premier League, say, no way. You know, in and out of Bristol City's team. And then, boom, decided actually I just need to play. I didn't care about any finance. I didn't care about anything. I just wanted to play games. Palace, bottom of the league in the champ after first 4 games, and then started winning. Premier League through the playoffs. Oh my days. That's something, you know what I mean? That's something. So for me, like, I'm trying to recreate something like that. So, you know, when you're seeing some of these guys in that time, you know, you just laugh, you know what I mean? Because you take a good time with them, you know what I mean? But you want to make sure the good time ends on a successful thing. So for me, I'd love to do that again, you know what I mean? That's my aim.
Definitely. Next question is from Danny Spooner, and he says, "Who's your best friend in football?"
Best friend in football? So Zaha, closely followed by Lukaku, I say, yeah.
Okay. So it just goes to show there's some top players that you've obviously played with. So yeah, that's all good. Got a question from Josh Wharton. And he says, if you were going to be a vegetarian omelette, which veg would you choose and why? And you could only choose a maximum of 3.
What, vegetarian omelette? If I was
omelette, yeah.
Not vegetarian like that, to be fair, you know what I mean?
Veg. What veg would you use, basically, in an omelette, basically? Choose 3 veg.
Broccoli. No, I wouldn't use broccoli, sorry. I want to talk kale, spinach, and onions.
Okay, decent. And then there's a question from James Mahoney. He says, do you remember James Mahoney supplying him with assists at under 14 level?
I knew straight away when you said James Mahoney, that's one of the lads like from way back. I used to play with him at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
I do not remember James, by the way. I do not, because I scored quite a few goals, man. You know what I mean, James?
So has he helped you get to where you are right now?
Man, he's probably going to bang on my line and say that now, innit? You know what
I mean? Definitely. Next question is from Ellie, and she says, "What's your favorite football boots of all time?"
Man, come on, man! Boot of all time. It's got to be the blackouts. Yeah. I think I played in a couple of seasons playing with blackouts. Yeah, the blackout CR7s. I need to get a picture of them. They had CR7. And then,
yeah.
But the manager of Congo was like, "Why are you always wearing CR7 in the boots?" Like, I was like, I like the boots, you know what I mean?
Of course. Definitely.
Kept talking to me about it.
Yeah, definitely. So the next question is from Jack Gorman, and he says, "Which Boro players have impressed you the most since you've been here at the club?"
You know what, the potential, there's some potential here, you know. But you're saying the most?
Yeah.
I like Paddy. I was because obviously I've been watching since October. Saying, why is he taking corners and all of that?
And he's a centre back. Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
Who else? I think in general, everyone's impressed me in different ways, if I'm honest. You know what I mean? I'm coming and say, wow, everyone can actually play, you know. I've been training with Tav the last 3 days, you know, but yeah, you know, I can see what he's going to bring, and I like what he's going to bring to the team. But so I'm impressed with, but I have to say
Mark Bowler, yeah, he's your Congolese boy as well. He's done really, really well at left back.
Yeah, no. I think I watched him last season and this season. I'm seeing two different players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because the gaffer always banners him about being at Blackpool reserves last season, and this season obviously being the best left back in the champ. Like, has he really changed that much?
I think with games everyone gets confidence, and you know the gaffer's done that, and that's one of the gaffer's specialities. You know what I mean? So, for me personally, am I surprised? No, because I know that he's got the ability, and yeah, I would say that. I would say like, yeah, I'm impressed with Bowler.